walking around with the radios playing your record. And I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, y'all made the music that really fit the hood and shaped it in a way that has never been done. And I was like, I can't do this. This is, how did they do this? So I'm like, I'm bugging off of y'all. So I had to figure out something, man. Y'all made me go back to the drawing board, man.
Yo,
I had to figure it out. Pressure.
The pressure with the peer pressure.
That's the early Bob. That's the early Bob.
Nah, yeah. But the album was dope. It was crazy dope, and I just like that put the fire to me, like, because I was like, damn, I'm like, what I'm gonna do next or whatever it is. But I was happy to hear that, and then you took off as usual and things of that nature. I want to pivot to an obsession of mine that I have, and this obsession is YouTube. I'm like obsessed with YouTube, right? I go in a bunch of rabbit holes, and
me too.
The algorithm is just crazy. And I stumbled upon this video where it was you recently, iced out, jeweled out, and pulled up on the hood and started playing basketball out of nowhere with no security, and you just. And and somebody's recording you. They go, look, this Nas, he just pulled up to the hood. This is who he is. Look at that. No security, all his jewelry. Look at this. What's the importance of you pulling up to the hood whenever you want to and being able to? What is that special to you? Do that mean something to you? Because you larger than life.
Oh man, no, that's you.
You larger than life. What does that mean to you to be able to pull up to your own hood, QB, where we from, and the love is just everywhere?
Oh man, it's crazy. You know what's crazy about going back to around the way? I would go around when Left had the spot. Our boy Left had the spot, Zoe's. So I would go there at nighttime when it would be just the adults around, like, so the kids wouldn't be just loud and going crazy. It would be just the older guys, and I'd hang out there all night. It got too good to me at some points, But the crazy part is seeing people that you grew up around. You seeing people like would tell you to get out the street. Get, when you're just a little kid, little naughty head kid. I was just a little naughty head kid running around. Get out the street, boy. And these are people that kind of raised me like a village out there, and to see them and they're a little older but still kicking, or hearing about somebody who passed away who was like a kind of older guardians in the neighborhood, and seeing their kids. So I'm like, man, I knew your dad, I know your pops, I know your moms, and these are now the young, strong people that's in the neighborhood. And I remember some of them when they was in baby carriages. Right. So that's really a trip for me because, you go through emotional things too sometimes, so it's beautiful because it's where we're from, and it's like it takes you back. Yeah.
Legendary Nas, you know what I'm saying? Just been given the green light to build a casino, man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be the first rapper that be in that space. Jay-Z always trying to be that dude to be the first, and he been doing it for a good 20 years. I'm not going like front. Jay-Z been the blueprint of taking rap to another level, and he been doing it at a high level. But it's people that been coming in through the door that he opened or that he helped open, and but Jay-Z been the face of success. I ain't going front, since about 20 years, and now that his ties to Diddy allegedly been putting a real black eye on his image, and it's just all kind of stuff about he trying to leave the States, and they're gonna bring him up on charges or whatever, allegedly. It's just but Nas been Nas is really representing what old school used to be. Move in silence. You know what I'm saying? Now Jay would never, you'll never hear his plays or see his plays until, so he was another one. You know, Jay would never address anything to anybody or back and forth. It'll come out on a record and he'll do numbers. He'll sell records through his dilemmas and his beef, even with his marriage. You know what I'm saying? They put all the emotions and feelings of what they want to say to each other and people on. They made life their art, their issues. You know what I'm saying? And it's just brilliant to be able to do that, to have that discipline and that strong control to just wait that long and pull all them feelings and emotions into a project. That's just awesome in itself. But the dude that's interviewing him is Havoc from Mobb Deep. Rest in peace to Prodigy. And so they talking about Nas pulling up to the hood with his jewelry on, no security, and I think subliminally they taking a shot at Jay Z because Jay Z can't come back to Marcy and do that. I think they'll for real try to get at him. You know what I'm saying? Because Nas been winning, and like anything, you go through ups and downs, but you know when you have a winning mentality, you find your way back to you know prominence, no matter what it takes. And Nas been the blueprint of just being silent, always being looked at as runner up to Jay-Z. But now at this point in time, with this deal for the casino, he done passed Jay-Z. He's been given the throne at this point, and he done took the baton from Jay-Z. Jay-Z is no longer the lone blueprint of success that's the rap culture is looking at. Because one, people like myself, I don't like the fact how Jay-Z snaked everybody. And now all this information coming out about behaving and just how he did Dame. And now they say business is a shark infested water type of atmosphere. And maybe I got the sentiment of I don't like that because I'm not in that arena. But you just don't know how you want to move when you're in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but because I'm not in that situation, and if I had to give an opinion, I don't like the snake and the back door and that he did the thing, and how he did his man behaving. Even to this day, you won't secretly throw that man a bone. Send that man a millie, you know what I'm saying, so that man can live. You know, him or Dane. You winning, man. You winning. And I just think that somebody hurt his feelings back then, and he vowed to take revenge on anybody and everybody that reminded him of the person that hurt him. They said they used to call Jay-Z ugly, you know what I'm saying? And until he got fresh and fly, and he stayed fresh and fly, that's the only way he got girls. But it wasn't because of his game or his appeal, his look. You know what I'm saying? His, appeal or look, just natural looks. And, you had to be fresh. He come up rolling up in a fly ride. He was that dude that sat on the car, sweat, fresh sweatsuit on, and you know what I'm saying, and nice little pieces on, and didn't say nothing, and that drew the girls in the attention. You really didn't have to say nothing or do nothing. So, and I just feel like, you know, uh, dudes like that, or we used to call pretty boys I'll be sure looking ass niggas, right? Or I'm sorry, ninjas. These dudes ain't had to do nothing but just show up, and they got the curly hair, the fade, and you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that they look exotic, with the hazel eyes, green eyes, or whatever, the fair skin. We all young in shape, but what's different about this dude, what I'm saying? He just, you're not looking like us. Not I had hair at one point, but we you know, you don't look like us and we don't look like you. You looking like you something out the magazine and whatever, with the fair skin, cause you know, what I'm saying, you a mixed breed down the line. So therefore, your appeal is exotic. It's just not like everybody else. So, you know what I'm saying? So guys like him, Christopher Williams, who else? The DeBarges, all them folks, had the good hair, the good looking skin, and the women loved it. You know what I'm saying? But the black man became king when we saw Wesley Snipes on that screen in Mo Better Blues. You hear me? And then he followed up with New Jack City. The dark skinned brother was back on the map. You feel me? You know, it shifted. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, because of this one brother in them two movies that were vital, the dark skinned brother got his game back and was revered like the light skinned brothers with the curly hair was, because of them two movies. Thank you, Spike Lee, for pushing the black dark skinned brother appeal, you know, and we always, but I know I did. I used to hear the term tall, dark, and handsome. I always looked at myself as that and carried myself as that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember hearing that term in movies like like Clark Gable movies or Humphrey Bogart movies. You know what I'm saying? I used to hear that term in them type of movies, tall, dark, and handsome. And that was what women were describing sophisticated men, tall, dark, and handsome. So I was like, shit, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Tall, dark, handsome, yeah, But, I wasn't no DeBarge looking dude or Albie Shaw or Christopher Williams type dude, but I had the good ways. I had kept a fade, So I figured out, I'm like, you know what? Like my grandmother used to challenge us, not just me. She would say something like, can you read? Can you write? Can you comprehend? So I challenge you to figure out how to make your situation better. See, my grandmother was real clever. She would get into your psyche and make it a game, for you to figure out. It's like a spy game, Sherlock Holmes. Like figure out how to do something without having to kill your people with drugs, get yourself killed for drugs, or put yourself in jail. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure out how you can exist in this world of materials without having to do the things that possess that for you to, we gotta come and throw dirt on you or gotta bring you flowers on your birthday because you in the pavement. You know what I'm saying? So what was the next step to get a plan? To have plans for your future, you know? So everything was geared to what you doing after you graduate school. So from 16, that was my mindset because I was taught to think like that. I was challenged to think like that. So first things first, what are the options when you get out of high school? Military. Go to college or get a job. That means you need to get a trade. Okay. Honestly, I wanted to work. So my mindset was to get a trade. I ain't really want to go in the military. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't, but I almost went in the army and the Marines. Almost. I already told that story, but you know, my grandmother challenged me. She said, "Look," I said, "Grandma, I want to go get some money. I want to go get me a job and work." You know what I'm saying? We fucked up around here, and I'm trying to do my part so I can take care of the family and just, you know, I want to take care of myself. I want things. It's hard with the temptation out there to see my friends, they winning, they doing things, She said, yeah, but it ain't gonna last long. What you gonna get yourself into gonna be long term. That's where we thinking. We want to think ahead, not just for right now. See, it's important to pour into your kids and get them, you know, uh, uh, you get them, you get them grounded and get them trained for what's coming at them and in the future. So you got to talk to them. Just like, just don't have them watching cartoons and playing with the damn iPad all day. You need to talk and have conversations with them. Age appropriate things. But when your kid turn 12, they need to start thinking about what's after high school. Because before you know it, that time going to be they in high school and then they get ready to get out of high school. What are you going to do? You going to go to college? You know what I'm saying? You got to start taking SATs and, you know what I'm saying? This what they do. That's what they do. My son started playing piano at 10. They start their kids at 5 years old. So we always late to the party. We got to change that narrative. So that's what my people was doing. They was already in our head training us. They was making us strong with their structure from home, which was love and confidence and affirmation. So when you went outside, you know what I'm saying, you strong. You know, when they jawn on you trying to get you vulnerable, it ain't working. Cause your structure from home was bulletproof. You know, it was shielding you from vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? So I tell this story over and over. You know what I'm saying? I was fucked up out here and didn't know it. I mean, because I used to wear hand me downs, my cousin, clothes, shoes, because we was a big family. We didn't throw nothing away. Your clothes and shoes, once you outgrew it, it went to somebody. So when I got things that my older cousins couldn't fit no more, it was like new clothes to me and shoes and stuff. But when I go outside, everybody busting on me. Oh man, you don't nobody wear that no more. And I like, well, Yeah, well, I'm wearing it. So I had an arrogance because I was built to be strong emotionally. So the jokes didn't affect me. And that's what they was trying to do. People in life try to make you weak and tear you down. But when you have a strong structure that start at home, you build your children up to make them have confidence and you know what I'm saying, make sure that you shower them with love and affirmation and whatnot, spirituality. So when they step outside your door, when you're not around to protect them and hold their hand, they can stand on their own. I'm telling you, that's what got me through. I already know it. I mean, I didn't understand it back then, but I know now. From then to now, you know what I'm saying? What was the ingredients that made me, I had somebody ask me, how did you get away with all that was around us? With all that was happening to us, how did you get away? And that's all I can think about. It was my home structure, love, affirmation, confidence, spirituality, you know, and the key players that was there, like dad, grandma, my mom's, and the supporting cast. We were each other crutch, in the family, No, nobody had no for real money, but we had each other and we leaned on each other. Somebody lost their job. My grandmother orchestrated, hey, we need this person bills paid for this month. Let's get some money together. Let's get some food over there. You know what I'm saying? And then when that person found their job, they had to pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we moved back then. And I'm a product of that. And I try to build that same structure with who came behind me. It was like pulling teeth. Nobody followed my lead. Like, what are you talking about? I'm doing me. I'm doing this over there. And, like I tell my siblings that came behind me, I'm the baby. My mother is the baby of 12 kids. My grandmother had 12 kids. My grandmother died at 80 years old. And for 40 years, her 12 kids took care of her. When my grandmother turned 40, she didn't have to work no more. So I try to incorporate that in my generation of siblings for my mother. You know what I'm saying? You think my siblings get on board with that? Okay, I'm the oldest, so I'm going to take this and put this on my shoulders. I took care of my mother. You feel me? Till she closed her eyes. And everybody else, they did what they did. They wasn't consistent. My mother was a bill, a priority. And you know what everybody said to me? Oh, you got it. You doing it. So why we gotta follow suit of what you doing? Okay, y'all think I don't need a relief? You think I don't need help? But then they got a nerve to want to ask me for some things. I'm like, so I gotta take care of you too, and you ain't even helping to take care of moms? Are you serious? I take care of babies and kids. I don't take care of adults. Bottom line, you know. So, you know, so yeah, I'm not popular no more. You know what I'm saying? Among the family members, because you know I'm not doing what they want me to do, or I'm not doing what everybody else doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking long term. They thinking for right now. So as of now in 2025, my forward thinking got me in a good position. And everybody else, you know, you know, basically looking at my plate, talking about you gonna let me eat off your plate? No. My plate full. No. Cause I want you to get your own plate to eat off. Like I was trying to get you to do back then. So now you gotta figure it out, and nothing is certain, and oh you need to help out. I don't need to do nothing. I'm done helping grown folks at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So get about your business. That's all I got for you is information. When I was grinding, taking the lame jobs nobody want, everybody got jokes, but I'm winning. I was winning because I wasn't asking nobody for nothing, and I ain't need nothing. And then at this point in time, ain't nothing changed. I'm winning, and I ain't asking nobody for nothing. But for some reason, everybody think they entitled to something of my hard work or what I did, what I worked hard for. And I ain't nobody gonna play with me at the end of the day. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I take it real personal when somebody got excuses. You know what I'm saying? You being choicy, don't want to take a job that is trying to give you a job for you to make some money, and you acting like you too good for that job. I got a problem with you. You know what I'm saying? So you stay your ass over there, out the way. Get out the way. Those of us that making things happen, get out our way. You jokers that wanna pocket watch and make excuses, move your ass over to the corner. You in the way. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's lighten the mood, man. I need some music. Let's go. You know how we get down over here. I'm waiting on CarMax to call me. I went and got my brake pads done in the oil change. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting on them to get back at your boy. You feel me? We got the holidays coming upon us. Trump done uh let the government get their money, you know what I'm saying? And so everybody is happy, and thank God for that. So it's just a shame that we gotta be going through this. But you know, we'll survive it at the end of the day, like we survived everything else, you know. Just keep God first and keep praying. And one thing I want to say to people, I'm vocational. You know what I'm saying? I went to trade school. I did go to college, but I dropped out and I went to trade school. Well, I was in trade school when I was in high school. My professors at trade school would say if you have four skill sets, you'll never be hungry or homeless. And I will add to that every 10 years, learn something that allows you to make money, no matter how big or small. You feel me? Learn a skill that make you money, no matter how big or small. I got a homie that is a bartender. This dude is a hustler. He's a grinder. Meaning, let me let you know his setup, because somebody gonna hear this idea and jump on it, and they gonna go get their money. My man is a bartender. Okay, this how he get his money. and he doing well for himself because he been rocking 20, 30 years doing the same setup. You feel me? That I know about. My man get up and go bartend for Applebee's and anything else they ask him to do in that timeline. Then he get off and go to a hotel down in DC, the Renaissance. He bartend for the hotel. Then he get off from there maybe 4 hours and then go to the club and bartend in the club. You feel me? Then he do private parties that he bartend. Okay. So just with the three jobs, Applebee's, the Hotel Renaissance, and different clubs around town, he bartend at. He could be at a different joint every night. So he's getting roughly 6 checks every 2 weeks plus tips. He get $500 in tips every week. Then he get 6 checks every 2 weeks. This is a grinder. This is somebody that's taking something and making nothing into something. You get what I'm saying? You know, so you gotta know how to put this together and this together, like you cooking food, chicken, mash, broccoli. That's a whole, entree that you put together, a whole setup for a meal. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get your chicken, you got to get your mac and cheese, you got to get your broccoli, you know. And I'm talking about jobs. You got to get your, you know what I'm saying? I'm using that as an example. You got to put all this together. So my point is, my man hustling 2, 3 jobs and making it work and getting his money. He ain't out here with his hand out. Can you help me? Can you give me? Ain't nobody hiring it. He ain't making excuses. He out here making it happen. And a lot of people are broke because they think they too good to get a job that is not desirable. Or I'm not doing that. I'm not putting on no uniform. I ain't flipping no burgers. Okay, you broke. What you mean you ain't? Who are you to feel like you can be so choicy? So look, let me know what prison you in so I can come and see you, because that's where you going. You going to the block. You know what I'm saying? The president out here find people, and people been on their jobs for years losing their jobs. You feel me? Ain't nobody got no money for nobody else. Everybody grinding for their own household in their own pocket. The last thing they need is somebody bumming that ain't trying to get their money back. Everybody is responsible to stand on their own. If you're not a child, you're not a baby, you're not disability, you're not autistic, what's wrong with you? That you can't get out here and get some money legally. But if you go the illegal route, just be prepared for it. Don't spend all your money. Be smart and put some money away for a lawyer. Because having a good lawyer, a paid lawyer, really makes a difference of how much time you're going to do at the end of the day. Trust me. I don't know that firsthand, but I've been around it. Got a lot of partners that done went in, and they didn't do half of the time because they had paid lawyers. So don't keep looking to be, you know, protected by a public defender. You might get a good one, you might not. But you do secure some kind of leniency when you go in there with a paid lawyer, because all them dudes together, all them guys together, the prosecutors, defenders, the judges, all them is a clique. So you want a lawyer that's favorable, and a lawyer that's paid is favorable, depending on what you did or didn't do. If they can cut you some slack, they will. But if they feel you need to be punished, you're going to get punished regardless. So just do the right thing. Think about it. You don't want to do what you need to do now just to go to jail and then come out and got to do what you got to do. Why you got to go get them people's time out your life to do the right thing? Think about it. And that's another thing. People, they don't sit and think about the consequences of things and ration out the do's and the don'ts. And, you know, or people is like, I guess they like living on the edge of life. Well, I'm going to see what I can get away with. I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I do until they catch me. And okay, I just hope it's worth it when it comes to that. But again, whether it's now or whether it's down the line when they let you out them jails, you got to do what you got to do if you're going to stay on the street, if you want to keep living. Because if you keep moving wrong, they're going to cancel your ticket. Either you in the way or somebody going to get envious of you. Or if you getting it, you might have a foul chick. You ain't giving her enough money, so she going to set you up to get all of it taken. Come on, man. I mean, we ain't got to go like this. But sometimes, folks just real impatient. They got to have it right now. I ain't got to have nothing right now. I take my time. And if it's meant for me to have, I will get it. All the luxury cars my friends had, I got my first luxury car at 50 years old. All my friends had their cars early, like 17, 18, 19, 15, And yeah, they was balling, they was doing it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, look, do your thing, man. This how you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, so I got off track. My grandmother say, figure out how to exist without having to give your life to the jail system and basically waste time out your life unless you being rehabilitated. Like, you stupid, and then when you go to jail, you take all these programs and get knowledge. You go to school, and okay, that's not wasting time. Maybe you needed to sit down to do that. But if you a smart joker that could have used your brain to get out here and get a job and then incorporate your own business, LLC and all this and that, you wasting time. You waste time out your life. Maybe you just didn't know your capability, but that's what you're doing. So my thing is, the minute my grandmother said, figure this out, That meant make plans of what your future gonna look like and what your future gonna be. And you don't let nothing deter you from that. So that was another thing, thrive in me. You feel me? I got plans. Cause I get asked all the time, man, why you bullshitting with that job, bro? We out here getting this paper. I used to tell my friend, I got plans, bro. I'm trying to go to the pros. I was good in baseball. So I'm trying to go to the major league. You feel me? Or I'm gonna go to college, or I might go in the military. I don't know. But if I get caught up right now or get myself killed, ain't none of that gonna happen. So I'm so strong about my future. I'm not doing none of that. That's gonna derail it, you know. And I go on record. I ain't going to the military. I didn't go pro. I ain't finished college. None of that shit panned out. So it was hard trying to figure it out. But I found my way. But because I had plans, I wasn't vulnerable to just fall into anything. That's what I'm trying to tell people. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't choicey, whatever door that opened up, I walked in that door and I maximized the benefits of going in that door, whatever the door that opened. I got maximum benefits from it. I wasn't playing. I'm there to try and learn what I need to learn and what's next. That was my whole mindset. I network, I talk to people, and I keep saying the job you don't want is the job that you need. Because at that location is the same people that feel the way you feel. I don't want to be here. And you get to talking to people, you networking with people like what's your plans? What you got going on? What you thinking about? And y'all start brainstorming and giving each other ideas. Now, whatever you thinking about, now you got something else on your mind, and you done gave somebody else something to think about. You feel me? Not only that, you ain't going to upgrade when you around the same people every day in, day out, and all they talking about is the bullshit. Trying to get over, trying to cut corners, not doing nothing, you know, waiting for the next scandal to come out or you know, oh, they fighting. Everybody jump and run. That's the excitement of the day. I'm like, okay, this shit's so dysfunctional. Fuck this shit. I'm getting up out of here with this bullshit. That's what tip I was on. You know what I'm saying? I was different with this shit because I was taught to be different. I was taught to learn and to focus into the future. My plan saved me because I didn't derail from it. I didn't fall victim. Then I was taught, look, it ain't nothing that you need that bad that you gotta give your life for or your freedom for. You'll get it eventually if you want it bad enough. But you gotta strategize to do it and get it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like maybe the people that talk to you gotta be very hold up, influential. People have to be influential. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ahead of myself. You know, I want to make sure I'm speaking in the right terms. I had a great grandmother. My grandmother was my world. I called her mama before I called my mother mama. Right to this day, till my mother died, I called her by her nickname, and she didn't have a problem with it. So now that my mother done died, my siblings, two of them, revealing to me, and they only doing it when they mad because they can't get me to do something they want me to do for them. And I tell them, I don't fuck with you because you been disrespectful or you been disrespectful. So they pull that out the from somewhere. Well, you disrespectful. You used to call your mother by her damn name. She ain't have a problem with it. She never corrected me, so she was okay with it. And guess what? I'm the oldest. I do what I want. How about that? That's what it was. You mad because she favored me. Because I took care of her and everybody else. And you think you can stand in my shoes, and you not. And you can't. Look at the good, look, okay. Look at the job you doing for yourself. You ain't moving like me, and you ain't holding nothing down like me. So why you think you want to be favored? You ain't trusted with no money and no bills. I made decisions because I was trusted and trustworthy. It's a mystery with you. What we talking about? Stop playing, man. Let's lighten the mood, man. I get real tripped out when I go down this road because y'all just don't know the half. And I'm cleaning it up, a lot of what I'm saying. But I just hope I'm helping somebody. You know, folks that's close to me, they tired of hearing me vent about the same stuff. So I'm glad I have an audience that I can come to and help somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah. Let's listen to some music. I've supposed to been playing some music a couple of damn minutes ago. Let's go. It's my girl, Linda Crawford. Let's go. Give you a little few minutes. I'm gonna have to call CarMax because I dropped my car off at 8:30 and my appointment was 9:30, so it's almost 12. You know, you're not gonna keep my car all day because you don't have to for no brake pads. Stop playing, bro. And the oil tank. 2 hours tops. You know, I'm gonna get them a call around 12 o'clock. Yeah. All right. You know, I'm on my Black History every day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just amazed that finding out how smart as a people and as a culture that we are. I'm learning about damn near everything we do in everyday life. A Black person invented it, but yet people in general want to act like we're inferior, we're brainless, we're mindless, but yet we are the most intelligent individuals. It ain't nothing we can't learn if we're given the opportunity to. You know what I'm saying? So I just got a lot of history that I'm just making discovery of, and like for instance, the safe. Did you know a black man created the safe? No, you didn't. So let's have a looky look. Listen to this.
You'll want to meet the guy who made hiding valuables way smarter. Let's talk about Henry Brown, the original strongbox legend. Back in 1866, keeping valuables safe was mostly wishful thinking. People used flimsy wooden boxes, easy pickings for thieves or fire. Enter Henry Brown, a black American inventor who knew the stakes were high, especially for newly freed black Americans building new lives. Brown invented the strongbox, a tough metal container with reinforced walls and a lock and key system. Suddenly, money, land deeds, and precious documents were safe from both crooks and disasters. This wasn't just about security, it was about empowerment. Brown's invention gave people the power to protect their future at a time when so much was at risk. Today's safes, they owe a lot to his original design. So next time you stash something valuable, remember, you're locking up a piece of history.
Henry Brown.
Now that's what I call strong. If you ever...
All right, let's go back with that. Let's go back. Because you ain't get it the first time.
The original strongbox legend. Back in 1866, keeping valuables safe was mostly wishful thinking. People used flimsy wooden boxes, easy pickings for thieves or fire. Enter Henry Brown, a black American inventor who knew the stakes were high, especially for newly freed black Americans building new lives. Brown invented the strongbox, a tough metal container with reinforced walls and a lock and key system. Suddenly, money, land deeds, and precious documents were safe from both crooks and disasters. This wasn't just about security, it was about empowerment. Brown's invention gave people the power to protect their future at a time when so much was at risk. Today's safes, they owe a lot to his original design. So next time you stash something valuable, remember, you're locking up a piece of history, thanks to Henry Brown. Now that's what I call strong. If you ever stash cash under your mattress, you'll want to meet the guy who...
Now, when you look that up... Now, when you look up Henry Brown, you have to put in there specifically the inventor that invented the safe. Because when you searching for Henry Brown, it'll come up Henry Box Brown. It was a black man that mailed himself to freedom from slavery. That's Henry Box Brown, not Henry, the inventor of the safe box. The safe. All right? It's a difference. So let me let y'all hear this and listen to this so you won't be confused.
Is a man who mailed himself out of slavery. Henry Box Brown. In 1849, with no weapons and no allies but his own courage, he climbed into a wooden crate, 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, packed, sealed, and shipped 350 miles north to freedom. For 27 hours, he was rolled, dropped, flipped upside down. But he didn't flinch, because freedom was on the other side of that box. And when they pried it open, he stood up and declared, "How do you do, gentlemen?" Henry Brown didn't just escape. He redefined resistance. One box, one man, one unstoppable will to be free. Today we recognize a man who mailed himself out of slavery. Henry Box Brown. In 1849, with no weapons and no allies but his own courage, He climbed into a wooden crate, 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, packed, sealed, and shipped 350 miles north to freedom. For 27 hours, he was rolled, dropped, flipped upside down. But he didn't flinch, because freedom was on the other side of that box. And when they pried it open, he stood up and declared, "How do you do, gentlemen?" Henry Brown didn't just escape. He redefined resistance. One box, one man, one unstoppable will to be free. Today, we recognize a man who mailed himself out of...
It's 2 Henry Browns. One that invented the safe and one that mailed himself to freedom. I gave you both versions. So don't confuse them. And I know somebody will, because you ain't paying attention. All right, let's keep it going. I'm in a good discovery type of mood right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to saturate everybody with a lot of discovery, but I'll do it, effectively, and strategically. Let's go. Got another one for you. Thought we was finished.
She was the ghost in your GPS, Gladys West, a black math prodigy, escaped Virginia's fields to program Cold War satellites. In 1956,
365 Black History. Let's go.
She cracked equations by hand, then taught IBM's first supercomputer to map Earth's true shape. Her geoid model, factoring tides, gravity, and ocean floors, became GPS's secret sauce. Her algorithms calculated Earth's true shape, factoring tides, gravity. The secret's GPS needs to work. But for 42 years...
Thank you, Gladys West. Miss Gladys West. Thank you.
In 2018, her sorority sisters resurrected her story. Now every Google Maps pin whispers her genius. Every Uber, Google Maps, missile strike, built on her equations. She was the ghost in your GPS, Gladys West, a black math prodigy, escaped Virginia's fields to program Cold War satellites. In 1956, at a segregated Navy base, she cracked equations by hand, then taught IBM's first supercomputer to map Earth's true shape. Her geoid model, factoring tides, gravity, and ocean floors, became GPS's secret sauce. Her algorithms calculated Earth's true shape, factoring tides, gravity. The secret's GPS needs to work. But for 42 years, her work was classified. Her name erased. In 2018, her sorority sisters resurrected her story. Now every Google Maps pin whispers her genius. Every Uber, Google Maps, missile strike, built on her equations. She was
Thank you, Miss Gladys West. Thank you.
A black math prodigy, escaped Virginia's...
Y'all gonna stop playing with us. The unveiling is coming off. The discovery is being discovered. Our culture, our people are great. And we're going to teach this to these kids to let them know their worth. And they're going to change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? The narrative been changing, but it's more on display now. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the discoveries of streaming and people putting the information on there. Thank you. And, I just think the temperature is, so what? You did this, you did that. So what? Y'all not going to do nothing with it. We might not, because we missed the train. But one thing about streaming, that information don't go nowhere. And as myself and people like me still talk about great people like Gladys West, Henry Brown, more people will listen. Tupac said, I act the way I do, I talk the way I do, because one day in the future, I'm going to spark the brain that's going to do something great. They're going to hear what I said and it's going to mean something. So one day in the future, somebody is going to see this video. It's going to mean something to them. And it's going to make a difference. And that person going to take action and go in the right direction. This Streets Finest Big Dave. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you learn something. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of knowledge in my 55 years to talk about, to share with you. And I just hope that, somebody listening and somebody would take heed to, someone that, walked the pavement and been on the ground floor, learn how to live at the bottom, and, you know, not afraid to be at the bottom because I know I'll rise at some point. But even when I rise and if I get knocked back down, I know how to survive at the bottom. I know how to be there and make it work. You feel me? You know, I'm not somebody that been privileged, and if I fail from status or from, from being, privileged to not being privileged. It been the other way around. I had nothing and then I gained a little bit. So what I have get taken from me, I'm okay. I'm a survivor. That's what streets finest mean. I survived the streets. I know how to move. I know how to roll legally. You know what I'm saying? I don't be choicy. I'll find a door that's open and I'm going to go into it. And I'm going to maximize the benefits of that door being open. Holla. It's your boy Big Dave. Peace out.